Hey everybody, welcome to Weekend Wrap, our look back at the big weekend in MLS and international soccer, coming to you from our new offices in San Francisco. We're just settling in, that's why there's a little bit of a white institutional look behind us, but Jonah Friedman here with armchair analyst Matt Doyle. And Matt, lots to talk about. Only one MLS game on the weekend, New England hosting Chicago, but still a good one out of Gillette.
Yeah, it was a great performance from the Revs, especially in that last half hour when Kellen Rowe came on. Him, Benny Feilhaber, Lee Nguyen all combining together, Adin Syersen, and the last 15 minutes, Brett Schneider, that five-man attack right there really got rolling, and Chicago could do nothing about it. On the other side, Chicago's attack really out of ideas once again. Their best chance was Damaduro fluffing a header from 5 yards. That's been pretty much a theme for them. And questions are starting to be asked by that fan base. Yes, the Fire are still in the playoff hunt. I think they're 5th in the East right now. But they need to have a little more bite in that final third. The fans are begging for a target striker. You got to think that Frank Lopez and company will go out on the market this summer and bring in a real number 9. Number 2 on this list, Mexico, with yet another win over Brazil on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, and that's 3 for 3 on El Tri's recent U.S. tour. And interesting note from this one, against Brazil, the U.S. more or less split the possession battle. But here in this one, Brazil had 67% of the possession, and of course it was a 2-0 result to Mexico. So what does that tell you? Well, their counterattack came out firing, and it's pretty obvious. Giovanni Dos Santos, who's been on fire for them recently with an awesome chip in the 22nd minute, kind of reminiscent of what he did against the U.S. in the Gold Cup with that 4th and final goal that just made Tim Howard look really depressed, and really Rafael looked depressed on Sunday as well. And then Chicharito adding a penalty kick 10 minutes later. Giovanni was brought down in the box. Mexico looking good, looking very good. They've been playing very good defense, especially against Brazil. They locked them down, ended Brazil's 10-match unbeaten streak, and the offense is starting to click, and they're looking very good heading into World Cup qualifying, which begins on Friday against Guyana. Number 1 on the list, the uber epic showdown between the U.S. and Canada up at BMO Field in Toronto that was full of fireworks, right, Matt?
Oh, God. Real rivalry match there, huh? 0-0 draw. Probably should have been 1 or 2-0 to Canada. They were rooked out of an early goal from Nick Ledgerwood. There was no foul on that play. Yes, Marcus Haber followed through a little bit, maybe got into Castillo's shins, but honestly, that was not a foul. That should have been a goal for the Canucks. And then Simeon Jackson missing an absolute sitter. But I think Canada should come away from that feeling pretty confident, especially in that central defensive pairing. Andre Hainaut and Kevin McKenna locked the U.S. down. On the U.S. side, the questions are, where are the chances coming from? Jose Torres, yet again, was a cipher. He did nothing on that left side. The only wide play they really got was from Edgar Castillo overlapping. On the right side, Landon Donovan wasn't much better, and Steve Cherundolo didn't have an effect at all. The U.S. were pretty lucky to come away with a 0-0 draw on the road against CONCACAF opposition. If that doesn't make you nervous heading into next week, I don't know what will.
All right, taking a look at our top performers from the weekend, it is a midfield trio for New England that did all the damage. Lee Nguyen, Benny Feilhaber, and Kellen Rowe.
I don't think you'll find 3 more skilled, more fun to watch midfielders in this league than these 3 guys. Lee Nguyen, every time he has the ball, he wants to go at people. He wants to put them on their back foot. He still holds on to it a little too long at times, but you could see week after week after week he's learning. And then, of course, Benny Feilhaber, the veteran of the bunch. This is a guy with World Cup experience, and when he gets the ball, he makes plays. You saw him thread that perfect through ball to Kellen Rowe, and then later, he moved off the ball, played a 1-2, got into space. Feilhaber's been doing it all year. He's among the league leaders in chances created. His teammates haven't finished, but the chances are still being generated by him. And of course, Kellen Rowe, putting himself right back into the Rookie of the Year race. You could see why so many people are so high on this kid. He plays fearlessly. He plays without a conscience. Yes, he blew that early breakaway as soon as he got on against Sean Johnson, but then 5 minutes later, he buried the one that Feilhaber set up for him. It was just a virtuoso performance from the 3 of them. They've become one of the most fun teams in the league to watch, precisely because of these 3 guys. Adin Syersen, can't beat it.
All right, only one MLS game on the docket again this week, so we'll take a look at the standings for the 3rd round of CONCACAF qualifying for the 2014 World Cup. The U.S. opening up against Antigua and Barbuda in Tampa. They are in a group with Guatemala and Jamaica. Mexico with Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Guyana. Canada in what might be considered the group of death in this round, along with Honduras, Panama, and don't sleep on the Cubans despite their number 136 ranking in the FIFA rankings. That'll do it for us. Make sure you check back on the site all week. Lots going on, including U.S. Open Cup action on Tuesday. World Cup qualifying kicks off on Friday. We'll check back with you later in the week.